Ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? Once again, I'm there from That's Tech, but otherwise known as your friendly neighborhood hillbilly tech base. Don't worry, ma'am, I am from the internet, just as much as I am from the potter's ground. Ghost busting hillbilly boy. Don't worry, ma'am, I got your back when it comes to the spooks. When it comes to the spooks, I gotta tell you, there's a lot of demons that hang out on TikTok. TikTok's a little bit different than it was before. Things have changed. TikTok is different now than it was during COVID, and the thing everyone seems to be realizing is that the TikTok that we have now is different from the TikTok that we had before, and that is remarkable. Now, before I go any further, I need to tell you that my relationship was destroyed by TikTok, and we'll put a pin in this really quickly because I know the first thing you're going to think. You're going to say, no relationship has ever destroyed TikTok. If TikTok could destroy a relationship, your relationship wasn't even worth having. Like, come on, guys. You don't think I've thought about this? You don't think I've gotten like really deep into it? Guys, my ex brought to me as she was spending 5.5 days on TikTok, and she was a stay-at-home mother who was not doing any dishes. There was a person that died after eating Kraft dinner that was in the fridge for 7 days. Not related to us. She left food out for 3.5 days, Kraft dinner out for 3.5 days that my daughter ate. Though she was a stay-at-home mom, she told me not to do any dishes and not to be around at all, to do all my extra side works, my YouTube and stuff like that. And when I came to her, when I challenged her, what's going on here? She said, Nevin, you're a covert narcissist and you need help. And where did you find this information? TikTok. There was a TikToker named Tabs. She is not around anymore. She seems to be thoroughly banned. She used to try to sell her books. My wife was getting information from Tabs. Now, she made two really big mistakes here. She called me a covert narcissist with information she got on TikTok, which is dangerous to our entire family because as I would later learn, I am not only not a covert narcissist, but it takes a clinical psychologist and above and around that level of therapist to be able to identify this kind of stuff. And anyone who legitimately takes more than 3 minutes to get information about narcissism will know you never come out to your abuser who is narcissistic. If I was narcissistic, that would have put my entire family in danger. That one action. Lucky I'm not narcissistic. Once again, I went through therapy. But as we go through here, I want to show you that the old mindset of TikTok is looking at this new TikTok, and it is anyways, let's read on. After just 12 hours of being banned, TikTok made an abrupt return in America users later that night, leading many to celebrate and laugh at their initial hysteria. However, amidst the joy, some users believe they have uncovered a sinister truth about the new version of TikTok that has appeared. Something bad has happened while we were gone. Geez, legitimately, could they have been switching over servers for different algorithms? Because one thing I need to put a pin in is I will die on this hill. The Me Too movement set something up for TikTok to use narcissism to destroy relationships and families during COVID. 100% people started talking narcissism before everyone started saying narcissist, covert narcissist. They'd say the person is just crazy, psychopathic. There were other words for it. But like because of TikTok, it changed these things. TikTok's ban in the US stemmed from national security concerns, interestingly enough, that were brought up by Trump that are now Trump is saying aren't concerns. What's going on there? Now here's the payoff for the setup I gave you. There was a comment or somebody, no, sorry, here's the payoff. One commenter below the video linked Trump to a narcissist, saying, a narcissist taking something away and then giving it back is a common manipulative tactic used to control their victims by creating a cycle of dependency and uncertainty. They like to use the word cycle quite a bit. Now you see these individuals, once you catch them in you get in an argument and you will say, this is my point. And they will say, yes, but I have a counterpoint and your point is wrong. Then you'll say, your counterpoint is invalid. You have mistakes in your counterpoint. Here is my point and why your counterpoint is wrong. They will say, you are now moving in circles, and this is abusive to me. Do you see the way it's kind of messing with our minds, the way it's messing with the way that we think? Now, TikTok likes this stuff happening because we still owe them. As white people, we owe them for the opium wars, they feel. They're still angry with Japan, reasonably mad at us, reasonably mad at Japan for dumping opium on them, and the Japanese for the opium and the comfort girls. Like, guys, it happened. It happened, and there are people within the CCP that have connection to ByteDance, that have connection to TikTok, that has connection to relationships, people's relationships in the West. Another issue that we have here is the people on TikTok that give me the most problems are the type of people that will say things like this and not understand that, guys, you know, Biden helped get this thing through. Trump started it. Biden helped it through by saying, by linking Trump to a narcissist, which, let's face it, we know that he is, but we also know that most of America is run by narcissists, because narcissists are disagreeable people, and disagreeable people get farther than agreeable people. That's just the way this stuff works, right? Right? Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, where are we? So now here's the interesting thing. It seems like TikTok is putting personal responsibility, or at least more personal responsibility, onto the creator. When you post comments, it sounds like if you post comments that are critical on Donald Trump now and critical on the American administration, the creator has to approve those messages now. So the creator has to put more time into spreading this information that they're spreading, whether it's right, whether it's not right. So you see, we definitely had a thing going on. You're going to have to forgive me for using Christian whatever, because I was raised a Christian. Forgive me. I'd change it if I could. I'd probably be Sikh, whatever. Anyways, there was a woman that went to church, and she was known for saying shit, talking shit, and gossiping. Gossip's a giant problem in relationships. Anyways, she went to church, and she's like, I've been gossiping, I'm sorry, and to the pastor at confession, which is a Roman Catholic thing generally. And the pastor's like, the father says, okay, I want you to rake up all of the leaves in your yard and leave them there. And she says, yeah, I can do that. I'll do that if you want me to. But there's going to be a storm. Those leaves are going to be all over the place. And he's like, yeah, that's right. Just trust me, just do it. You'll learn. And he's like, okay. All right, so she does it, and the storm comes, and the leaves are all over, and she goes to her father the next day, and she's like, Father, why did you tell me to do that? And the leaves are all over, and she says, now I want you to pick them all up. That's what you've done. So now this woman had to take the personal responsibility to go and collect all of those frickin' leaves. When you spread rumors, that's the stuff that happens. Now, there's a lot of people that like to spread leaves that don't like to pick those leaves up. They don't like to track them. They're fine with burning down a house if burning down the house would be okay for them. But the embers burn other things down, and they don't realize it. And those are actually legitimate problems that happen in TikTok, whether it meant to happen or not. Anyway, oh geez, a red flag. First describes the red flag message that appears both. Oh no, it actually was a red flag message on both users. Because red flag is one thing that's been overused. I hate it when people say that word now. Red flag, green flag. Both messages prominent mentioned Donald Trump in saving the app, and also referring to the president. Well, that's interesting. She tried to send a link, but a link to specific videos wouldn't work. I almost wonder if there's some kind of a backstage deal going on between Trump and TikTok, ByteDance. Maybe they decided to change things on the back end, and that's why they went down for the amount of time they went down for server stuff. Another user was trying to share videos about China's free healthcare system. Never trust China. Never trust anything China says about China. Ever. 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 And you have research sharing limit. Yeah, and she's trying to show that information. Lower living costs in the U.S. Receives a message. Sharing is limited to one chat at a time. Upon attempting to share further, Miller warned you have reached your sharing limit. That is interesting. How many people are these individuals sharing these things with on a one message basis? Potentially harmful content? Oh, I want vengeance. Like, I legitimately want vengeance. Like, legitimately, I feel strongly that TikTok was absolutely what took down my relationship. When I first met with my therapist, he didn't believe me, the things I was telling him about TikTok. A year into it, I was patient zero for him. So I'm not saying that there weren't problems. I'm not saying that I didn't exacerbate the situation with my anxiety. I'm not saying I'm a perfect husband. I'm a pretty damn good dad, though. Propaganda works. Propaganda works. So here's the thing that I really want to drive home about why TikTok can mess with you. Some people are easily hypnotized. Some people are, it's really easy to mess with their minds. And I can prove it, because if any of you have been to a hypnotist, or go look up a live hypnotist show, the first thing any hypnotist will do is they try this thing with your hands. I don't fully understand exactly what it is, but you're supposed to have your hands like this, and then he will come up and he will grab your arms and try to pull them apart. And because of that test, it will tell him if you are, okay, I don't know if it tells him if you're susceptible or not. All I know is after that part of the show, he tells people to go back or tells people to stay. And I still remember when I was in high school, I watched one of my friends fight it. And he was at that point where he had just got the initial group, and he had got them. He's like, you're going down, down, down. And like when he was at that down, down, down spot, my buddy, he opens his eyes like he was trying to fight it. I swear to God, he was just like, can I get away from this point? And he opened his eyes and he walked away. So what I'm saying is, it is absolutely 100% for true that some people can be hypnotized and some people can't. Any of us who went to the hypnotist for entertainment could see that. My ex-wife was someone who went to a hypnotist, was selected, was hypnotized. And I remember I was with her. I was with her for 15 or 10 years before we were married, 15 before we had kids. And TikTok made her say to me that, that TikTok made her think she didn't have a normal relationship. Number one, who the fuck would come to this guy looking for a normal relationship? First off. But number two, absolutely very easy. I remember thinking that she would be very easily hypnotized because of the way she would immediately start thinking. Like, I could, if I wanted to, and I didn't, because I think it's so freaking disgusting, I could probably get her to change her mind about anything. Like that. And maybe not even by showing her. I could make her change her mind with facts. Like, for example, I'd tell her there's a lot of fat in cream. And she'd be like, well, I love cream. And then if you start off getting coffee, it was without cream. And I tell her, there's good stuff in dark chocolate, and people who eat dark chocolate are considered intelligent amongst chocolate connoisseurs. And she's like, oh, I hate dark chocolate. Shortly after that, right on the dark chocolate, right on the dark chocolate. But legitimately, you get some people that are absolutely, you can get into their minds and you can do stuff with them. There's a sucker born every minute. I forget who said that. But they exist. They're out there. TikTok is manipulating them, and maybe this is proof that they're changing what they're doing, and that would be lovely and wonderful. And maybe, you know, Western society wouldn't fall apart quite so much because Granddaddy CCP is pissed off because of the opium wars. And I wouldn't blame him. But anyways, folks, that's it from me. Like and subscribe if you like this stuff. Always appreciate it. As always, folks, take care of each other. Legitimately.